Good morning, friends. It's good to be here this morning. Today's Tuesday. We're already moving through the first week of October. And it's such a funny thing to comment on, I think. But we find ourselves doing that often. We talk about how quick the days go, how quick the years go. And we always talk about it as if we're shocked. Right? But nothing has changed except for our perspective. And it's probably changed because we have grown used to seeing whatever it is that we're seeing, right? And that means that we have a level of complacency within the way we see the world around us. And I think that just makes things seem to go a lot faster. We spend a lot of our time, whether you're on social media or you watch any television or movies, or you have cast off all media and you strictly sit and look at trees wherever you are in your practice. I think that the human condition is to spend time wandering out of our conscious awareness of what is in front of us. And I feel like it's easier to do that the more familiar we think we are with something. So a good example of that is the way that we behave towards new friends when we meet new friends is often a more idealized version of ourselves than when we are with people that we live with every day or that we've had long relationships with, our parents, our siblings, our children, our partners. And I think that this is because we become so entwined emotionally that we dissociate a bit from the things we're familiar with, whether it's people or places or plants. Um, but this doesn't always work the same for pets. When you have an animal friend, uh, and maybe it's because of the sheer enthusiasm that, like, your dog, for instance, will have for seeing you, that it wakes us up out of that daze of complacency. their sheer wow at the moment when you walk in the door um, brings us, I think it's with our mirror neurons. I don't think they're just there for other humans. I think that anytime we're brought into that level of high frequency, high energy embrace, we are bound to meet it. You know, you ever see an old curmudgeon uh, shift entirely when a puppy is around? you know, um, and part of that is also the way that animal friend is embracing you wholeheartedly and without judgment, whereas we have this fear that we carry around on our backs that those closest to us are judging us for the things about us that we hate in ourselves, the things that we do not like about ourselves. We think these people must be holding that against me, and they have the same fears that we must be holding resentments towards them about the things about themselves that they don't like. And so we're interacting with each other based upon the stories of who we think they think we are. That's a fun twister. Um, but these stories are what mire us down and then cause us to dissociate. You ever have someone telling a story, and after a couple minutes of all the intense details of something you aren't too sure of, you just start shutting the story out, like you just can't focus? Um, Maybe that's happening right now at the sound of my voice. uh, but that is a response, a natural response at some point by your nervous system to stop all of the onslaught of information. It's too much information coming in at once. We become overwhelmed and we shut down. Some of us are more sensitive to that than others. But when we take the time to learn the tree, for instance, sitting in front of the tree, and we start to really allow ourselves to focus in on the minutia of detail. We start looking at the littlest things. It could be the same tree we see every day, but you're going to see something new. And you can do this with people, people that you see every day. And you can do this with yourself. And it's through this discovery of the newness that you can have enthusiasm again. You can have the enthusiasm for the discovery of something new, because if there's something undiscovered now, then what else do I not know yet? What else have I not experienced with this person? What else have I not experienced with myself? What level of honesty will I get to next? And that's curiosity. Curiosity is the cure for complacency. And it also happens to slow down everything. So when we talk about how quickly our kids grow up, or how quickly the year is going, if we stop and slow down our minds just a bit each day, then you'll find that you can make a moment last a long time. I don't want to use hyperbole, and you can make a moment last a lifetime for only $19.99. But you can. You can slow down everything by seeing it anew, being with a person for who they are right now and being curious, sitting with yourself and your own thoughts right now and just being curious. I joke with some friends when one of us would point out something beautiful like the moonrise or a sunset. Uh, I'd say, "Oh, look at the sunset," and they'd say, "Oh, I've seen those. I've seen tons of those. No, that's nothing new." And that's the joke, because of course you're going to stop and look at the sunset. You've never seen that sunset. It's something different every time, and it's something beautiful, and it gives us pause. You're going to watch the moon crest over the bordering mountains when you live in the valley. You're going to watch that moment, that special moment. There's something particularly sacred and enrapturing about that moment. But then you dissociate for the rest of the time the moon is up that night. You're not necessarily enraptured in what the moon is doing in that moment. But that moment where the moon is rising, it slows down. Your day slows down, and you take a moment and you take pause, and you are in awe of something you've seen hundreds of times. So if we can cultivate that curiosity, cultivate that sense of awe when we are sitting with our own thoughts, if we can cultivate that same sense that our own thoughts are like the moon cresting over the mountains, or uh, that our own feelings and emotions are as rich and colorful as a beautiful sunset, and we can bring our attention to it, even those difficult emotions, those difficult thoughts, these are the places where we can get curious. And instead of having to dissociate from them because they feel overwhelming, and we go to our screens, or we go to um, our distractions of whatever we do, we can go into it. We can sit with it, and we can be in awe of what we might discover. I find that when I have the capacity to do this, and when I have the practice, that this becomes a part of my response, my natural response, I can get into some really rich places in my thoughts. I can go into some really beautiful places in my emotions. And I can start to transform my fear of the creeping thoughts that might come. Right? And that practice begins by finding our meditation posture. So let's find our meditation posture together. Your meditation posture is simply a place of balance. It's the place of the least amount of stress or strain. If you're seated on the floor as I am, you might have your legs crossed in any number of positions, or sitting comfortably on a pillow or a mat or a rug. Maybe you're lying down. Maybe you're listening in your car on the drive to work. Whatever you are right now, just find balance within your body. I begin by elongating my spine as much as I comfortably can, just opening up all of those passageways for breath, opening up all those nadis for the flow of energy. And naturally, when I elongate my spine, I begin to breathe deeper into my lower body, filling the belly as the diaphragm pulls the air into my lungs. Slightly roll your shoulder blades together in the back, and let your shoulders hang from your spine. You can have your palms facing up or down on your lap. Check in with your lower back, your hips, your knees, your feet and ankles. There's no need to make yourself uncomfortable. Discomfort will come. You don't have to force it, I promise. And if you find that you need to move, just move. If you need to make an adjustment, adjust. There's no valor in holding out the longest, most uncomfortable position. Not right now. And now, like those sunsets and moonrises, the things that we do thousands and thousands of times, let's take a moment to be enamored by our breath. Slowly, gently breathe in through the nose. Savor that sensation. As you release, feel the body begin to collapse in upon itself. Slowly breathe in through the nose. Follow the movement of energy as you exhale, and it pulses and vibrates from your heart space through your body. Slowly breathing in and out. Your in-breath is your ability to receive. So as you breathe in, bring all of your focus into what it is to receive. Feel the softening of your body as you focus on receiving. Your out breath is your capacity to let go. You are releasing. So breathe in gently. And feel yourself release. Now for a moment, let's bring the practice to the space between the breaths. And I'm going to bring down the singing bowls. And we'll just sit with what comes out of our bodies, what reverberates through our bodies, our sensations, physical sensations, emotions, thoughts, in between the breath. So receive and breathe in and hold. And release And breathe out. And hold. And receive. Hold that breath. And release. So see if you can maintain full awareness through the in-breath, the hold, the release, and the hold. Find yourself in this hypnotic rhythm. Become curious. What is the body wanting to express? What is the mind expressing in thought? Witnessing the thought, following the thought are two different things. Recognizing where it is your mind wants to go is different than chasing your mind down the rabbit hole. And return to natural breath. You can open your eyes if they were closed. Hopefully they weren't if you're driving. But you might be on Highway 199 and it may be safer to drive with your eyes closed. Just kidding. Of course. So spend this moment now, after those few really intentional, slow breaths, and feel how much longer a minute is. Notice how much more aware of the small details of the room you might be. It's these practices that assist us in regulating our bodies and regulating our experience. So thank you for joining me in this practice this morning. Hari Om.